Hello, this is Alex Plana with Everything Online. Today I want to cover our activeCollab project management system. And to get started, it's what I have here is a login page. You should have your email address associated to activeCollab along with a password. And what I like to do is have this checked here. Remember me for 14 days. This way I don't have to enter my information again for the next 14 days. So I'll log in, and the first screen that I see here is this is basically recent activities. It just shows you what type of activity is going on in various projects, and you can see who is online in the past 15 minutes here. But usually the first place you want to go is to the projects button at the top. And as you can see here, this is actually just a test account that I created. Threw a couple projects in here, and the project that we're going to take a look at is this New Jersey microsite, plumber's microsite, and it's content creation. So basically, I'm going in here as a content writer and taking a look at my tasks. So you can click on here, and the first screen that shows up, which is what I always refer to as these tabs. The first tab is basically the overview. And keep in mind, you want to make sure you read any instructions that are in here. Usually we try to have detailed instructions within this overview. In addition, I'm going to go over milestones and checklists. And within those, there's an option to add detailed instructions as well. So there's three areas that you got to keep in mind when you're looking at these projects. The main overview is this first tab, and the milestones along with the checklist. So I'll go into milestones here, and you can see there's one milestone that's created. And basically a milestone is a way to categorize different tasks per se. So let's say we have here create content, and this is mainly for content creation. We might have another milestone. Maybe it's for a web developer. So develop, we'd have a milestone like develop website. And then within there'll be checklists and tasks associated to developing the website. So for content creation, you can click on this link here in the milestone, and here is a small little line, and that's a detailed description I was telling you about. And sometimes we'll have detailed descriptions for the milestones in here, so be sure you look for this as well. And then from here, you want to go into the checklist over here, this checklist tab. I click on that, and you'll see one checklist. In your project, you'll see usually a variety, several, maybe a dozen or more checklists. And in each checklist, you can click and see the tasks that are associated to these checklists. So, like I said before, there's multiple areas to add detailed descriptions, and the checklist is one of them as well. So if you click on this checklist, the link here, you'll open it up and you'll see some instructions as well. So be sure to look out for this one. And I'll go back to the checklist. There we go. And we're looking at this task here. So the task is associated to the checklist, which the checklist is associated to a milestone. In some cases, we'll create checklists and tasks that are not associated to a milestone. You might see when you go into a milestone, there's no milestones. And if that's the case, then that project is pretty small. It doesn't warrant a milestone. So for this one here, let's go back to the task. So create content for homepage, and you can see who's responsible. So keep an eye out for your name. And then this one is due in 3 days. You might see some that are past due, which would be red, and you want to get those completed as quickly as possible. So let's say you did create some content for a homepage, and it took you about 2 hours to do that. Off to the right here, there's a clock icon. It's called time. So to enter your time in the system, you want to just click on that, click log time, and then enter the hours that you spent on this particular task. And you can write a summary if you'd like. And then you just click log time. I won't do it here, but then your time will be associated to this task. But there might be cases where you don't have a task, but you've spent some time on this project. And for example, like researching, market research or something, and there's no task that's associated. So to add time to this project, there's a time tab. And if you click on that, you can go in and add, say, 2 hours of research marketing, for example, and then you click the add button. But for the most part, if there's a task, please associate the time with the task, and only when you don't have a task to assign time to, use the time tab. Going back to the checklist and the task here. So you completed the task, you entered your time. The next step this is for content writers, is that you're writing content, you're probably using Microsoft Word. And what you want to do is save that, and then you want to go to the Files tab and upload it. And here's an example of an article that was uploaded. The reason why is because there's certain projects that we have where there are other people working on it and waiting for the content. So this way, when it's their time to do some work, they know where to go to get the content. So let's keep it at the Files tab there. And then when you upload that and the task is completed, be sure to check this checkbox, and that will complete that project. And then what happens when you complete that project or that task, you'll notice here the project progression bar, it will start moving forward. And then also going back to the checklist. So let's say you completed all your tasks in this checklist. And what you do is, let's say you do have a milestone, and that checklist is associated to a milestone. So the milestone only has one checklist, and you can go in there and complete that. And what happens is that the progression bar moves forward as well. So if you got confused, so basically what I'm saying is, if there's a milestone and all the checklists and tasks are completed, you complete the milestone, and that way the progression bar gets closer to 100%. Ideally, we want to get it to the point where it's 15 out of 15, and that way we could easily go over projects, because we have a lot of projects in queue, and we just want to be able to look at the progression bar and see, oh wow, okay, this one's it's completed, and then that way we can close it out after a few weeks or so. Quickly go over a couple of these other tabs. So the main tabs is going to be this first one, which has overview, your milestones, and checklists. Checklists and tasks, this is the one you're going to be spending most of your time in. The files, I went over that. You could upload files. Discussions, we don't really use that much, but hopefully down the road we will, where you want to start a discussion and you check the people within activeCollab, and they'll get the discussion, and we can have a communication line going, and it's recorded for that project. Calendar, I'll actually go over. Let me go over Pages. Pages, it's used to add content as well. I prefer not to use this. I'd rather have the documents uploaded into the files. So Pages, just ignore. In fact, I'll probably get rid of this one here soon. And Calendar. Calendar is a way to see all your tasks and milestones, as you can see here, and the days that I believe they're basically due. I usually don't use Calendar. What I like to do to manage my assignments is clicking on the assignment button at the top. And as you can see here, there's these little filters. And what you can do is you can create a filter, and I'll show you how to do it. So what you do is you create a new filter and call it I'll just call Alex's tasks or projects or whatever. Yeah, tasks is fine. And then the filter group is just my projects. Let's do Alex's project. There's already another my projects in there. So Alex's tasks, Alex's projects. And then you can select person accessing this page as assigned or responsible. That'd be you when you access it. You can leave it on here. Going up here, this filter can be used only by me. If you don't want anybody else seeing this filter, you just click yes. And then due on, anytime, in project, active project. These are fine. Status, active only. But I would change the order by due date late first. And then click submit. Now let's go back to assignments. Now that filter should be Alex's projects, Alex's tasks. And then when you click on this, you'll see right now there's only one project that was associated to this account. But you'll see a list of projects, and it'll be in order of late to and basically due dates. So if you have anything that's late, it's going to be at the very top, and it'll be in red here saying late minus 3 days or something like that. This way you can go in there and start tackling the ones that are highest priority, which is the ones that are late, and complete those. Let's see here. I think I covered everything. If you guys have my email address, if you have any other questions on this, hopefully this helps. And you understand how to use the system. It's not that complex. It's pretty easy once you get the hang of it. Again, so just shoot me any questions you have via email, and you have a good day. Take care. Bye.